This journey takes me through one of the most dramatic and least traveled regions of northern Vietnam. At the beginning, you can see the route marked in black on the map. It shows the road I followed from Bắc Hà to Hà Giang, cutting across remote mountain terrain near the Chinese border. On a map, it looks like a simple line. On the road, it becomes a serious adventure. Routes like this don't follow straight lines. They follow rivers, mountain passes, and the limits of what the land allows. This part of northern Vietnam has long functioned as a borderland rather than a clearly defined center. Even today, traveling here feels slower, quieter, and far more unpredictable than elsewhere in the country. Leaving Bắc Hà, the landscape quickly turns rugged. The road climbs and twists through hills and valleys where villages are scattered far apart, shaped entirely by geography. This is a part of Vietnam where mountains control daily life, distances are measured in time and effort, and travel still feels like exploration. Much of this region is home to ethnic minority communities who have lived in the highlands for generations. Along the way, you pass through areas inhabited by Hmong, Tay, Nung, Dao, and other groups, each with their own languages, clothing styles, and traditions. These cultures developed through centuries of movement and interaction across what are now modern borders between Vietnam, China, and Laos. As the road continues, terraced fields appear along steep slopes, carved carefully into the mountainsides. These terraces represent generations of accumulated knowledge, how to control water, protect soil, and grow crops in a harsh environment. Farming here is physically demanding, seasonal, and deeply tied to the rhythm of the land. Riding here, you become very aware of distance. Fuel stops are few. Towns are small. If something goes wrong, help may be far away. That sense of vulnerability sharpens everything. The sound of the engine, the smell of wet earth, the sudden changes in light and weather. This is one of the reasons motorcycle travel works so well in regions like this. You don't just pass through the landscape, you feel every part of it. Traveling by motorcycle through this region changes how you experience Vietnam. You feel every climb, every descent, every sudden shift in weather. You pass through villages where daily life unfolds slowly. People working the fields, tending animals, repairing tools, or pausing to watch travelers pass by. Long stretches of road feel completely empty, followed by sudden pockets of life in small valleys or roadside settlements. The deeper you ride, the more the landscape feels raw and untouched. This route isn't famous for monuments or landmarks. Its appeal lies in continuity, the feeling of moving farther into a region where tourism is still limited and traditions remain strong. As you approach Hà Giang, the scenery becomes even more dramatic. Steep limestone mountains rise sharply from the valleys, signaling a major geological shift. Roads cling to cliffs, drop suddenly into river valleys, then climb again without warning. Landslides and rockfalls are common during the rainy season, constantly reshaping the road. Hà Giang itself is a small city located on the banks of the Lo River in northeastern Vietnam. It covers an area of about 135 square kilometers and had a population of just over 55,000 people according to the 2019 census. More than 20 different ethnic groups live in the area, with ethnic Vietnamese and Tay people making up just over half of the population, and many other communities spread throughout the surrounding mountains. But the real significance of Hà Giang lies beyond the city limits. The region is dominated by rugged terrain, deep river valleys, and towering limestone formations shaped over hundreds of millions of years. Much of this area belongs to the Dong Van Karst Plateau, officially recognized as a UNESCO Global Geopark. Some of the rock formations in this geopark are estimated to be over 400 million years old, making this one of the oldest exposed geological landscapes in Southeast Asia. The plateau is defined by sharp ridges, narrow passes, sinkholes, and dramatic cliffs. Soil is thin, water is scarce, and agriculture requires extraordinary effort. Yet communities have adapted, building stone walls, terraced fields, and entire villages into the mountains themselves. This extreme topography has helped preserve cultural diversity. For centuries, difficult terrain limited movement between valleys, allowing ethnic groups such as the Hmong, Zhao, Lolo, Dai, and Nung to maintain distinct identities, languages, and traditions. Even today, traveling a short distance here can feel like entering a completely different cultural world. What makes Hà Giang truly unique is this combination of geology, isolation, and human resilience. It's a place where people have learned to survive and thrive in one of Vietnam's most challenging environments, creating cultures deeply connected to stone, mountains, and land. The ride from Bắc Hà to Hà Giang isn't about speed or efficiency. It's about scale, distance, and immersion. It's about understanding how landscape shapes culture and why northern Vietnam feels so different from anywhere else in the country. If you're looking for travel that goes beyond the usual routes, where the road itself becomes the experience, this journey into Hà Giang is unforgettable. Sometimes, the most meaningful adventures begin with nothing more than a thin black line on a map.